I'm an earthworm woman. In the mornings, I fill my tanks by breathing the energy of the sea and tasting the power of the sun penetrating my skin. There's an air of no care, which comes with age, and I hold my head up proudly, liking who I've become. I'm not afraid of smells, or dirt, or to walk barefoot across the stones. Sometimes I wade through the shallow water just to embrace its fluid element, my hair often crazy and loose, being pulled by and flying in the wind. I can be glamorous if I want to, although makeup was never my thing. And I've learnt that life is for living, not fearing, and so I absorb it like a sponge.
Yeah, well, here she is. Here she is. Grand rising, everyone. Now, that's what I always say. And I think we have to always rise with grandness and take each day as a new day to start just seizing life, trying to push all the chaos that we are constantly hit with away and just keep moving forward. And that's partly what this show is about today. It's about if you've got stuff you want to do in life, just do it. You know, if it doesn't work, but at least you've attempted and you've tried. So I've got two women who are coming on in a second. And just on that note, I mean, look at Melbourne. Bloody hell. Actually, I will bring them in. Here's Jennifer and here's Jody.
Hi.
Welcome.
Good morning.
Just saying, Melbourne, what a shithole. Look at it. Pouring with rain. Yesterday we had 31 degrees. And now we've got this just 3 or 4 days of, anyway. We have to just be ground risers. That's what I was saying. So, Jody, you're probably very new to all of this. So I just want to introduce you. You are from a famous Boland family. Your sister was on here once, Kate.
Yes.
Some people might know her as Queenie Queen, or Loving Being, I think now. And so, hi, Victoria. So, yeah, we're going to be talking about both of you and, you know, sort of a little bit about your past, but just about the project that we've started together. I had this, obviously people know about, or they may not know about it. Marooned is a play that's been going for since about 2017, which is around suicide, and it's been doing incredibly well. We've taken it, like me, I'm saying we, as in the Wolves Theatre Company, have taken it to country towns. We've had it in front of the army. We've had it in front of the chief of army and his wife, who absolutely loved it. They were going to take it all around Australia. Then the COVID stuff happened. It's been in many theatres. It's gone to small towns, and it's the thing that people say always after this play is, you got to get that play. You've got to get that everywhere. And so I've made that my mission, I suppose, because at the moment I do find there's a bit of blocks to it, but it's my mission to get this everywhere. And so now I am doing the play at the end of the year for the farmers, because I got a small grant from the National Centre for Farmers Health, and it's really important because you know, they do struggle hugely, obviously, in Australia, and specifically in that area with their suicide and mental health. 1 farmer every 10 days takes their life. So I will do that, but I think once we make this film that you two have come on board now to help me make, it can go even further. And so let's just go backwards quickly then. So I'm going to go to Jennifer. Jennifer, you've been sort of helping the Wolves with filming the plays for a while now. And tell me about what you've done, your film sort of experience you've done recently.
I haven't actually made anything recent. Well, I'm working on
But
projects.
you've just done a course, right?
I've done a course, yeah. I did a short film course. So that was basically just to bring myself up to speed with the brave new digital world. I started my work out in film, and I thought, well, if I'm going to be, really wanting to do the things that I want to do, then I need to become a little bit more proficient with all things digital. And the course did that. It was great. So, yeah.
Oh, okay. And so you're saying you start out with film, as in you put the film in, and yes,
like
exactly.
Real film, like plastic film that you stick in your camera. Yeah. Well, what we did years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And then
people still do.
It's still popular. Yeah. And so the thing about film is you can't just switch the screen on at the back and have a look at what you've just shot. You have to go and process it. You have to know what you're doing to begin with, so that you've got a fairly good idea of what's going to come out the other end. And I think I still work a little bit like that, even though I'm using digital. I still like to what they call pre-visualize what I'm doing, and it gives me a bit more control over the outcome. So I think it does. I don't look,
So just with this film course you've just done, have you actually been working? Obviously, you were working on pieces there, were you?
You mean the pieces in the film course, or
in your film course? Yeah, so you're working with other people on their pieces.
Yeah, in the film course, we're basically set a project to make a short film with each other, and we swap roles during the making of the film so that we get to learn all the different departments and. Or get an overview basically of the different departments. And it was very effective. It was great. We got thrown in the deep end, and it was good. So what that's done is it's given me the confidence now to feel that I can move on with my projects and work more effectively with other people. Yeah.
Fantastic. And Jodie, I didn't even know this, but you have an incredible background in Australian films and everything. Let's hear about that.
I started out in television as a coordinator for Crawford's on, what show was it? Cop Shop.
Cop Shop.
No, Skyways originally.
Okay.
And then I moved on to Cop Shop and the Sullivans, and as I moved into the art department, and then after 3 years a friend of mine asked if I could make films with him, so I'll film pop clips. So I worked with McGregor Knox on a couple of film clips, and Boffa Williams, and then the Rich Kids as well. I worked with, and so lots of other Australian music, which was fantastic. And then I was asked to art direct Dogs in Space, and
that's the one, only one I recognise.
Yeah. Anyway, I went on to art direct another film, Jeffrey Wright, Loverboy. And then in 1988 I got pregnant, and in those days that sort of was, I decided to give up work and move up the country and do something else. But I always had my hand in filmmaking, taught a bit of video making in Bendigo TAFE, and recently I've been working trying to produce a feature film called The Castle, and Then I saw the play and thought, really, visually, I love plays, I love words, and I love meaningful things. Sorry, the gardeners are here.
That's okay. We can't actually hear. You probably
good.
can. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I saw the play and thought, this is such a brilliant thing to do.
Well, thanks.
So important. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's
and
see that
visually, creatively. Creatively.
How can they be doing that? It's pouring as rain.
They're maintenance people, really. They don't
okay.
They use blowers, whippersnippers, and never have a rake in their hand or a broom. Basically.
Oh God, yeah. What happened to rakes?
Sorry. Yeah.
No, I agree. Don't. So
yeah. Anyway, I think it's a really good project and a really important topic, basically, and a brilliant play.
Yeah, let's go there. So we both, I mean, I have the vision of not going far from the script, keeping it really raw, using the light, and we're talking about where we're possibly going to shoot that, and the sound effects just being really minimal, but everything's really enhanced at the same time. But the story is the story just speaks for itself anyway, this piece. But that's sort of connecting up to what I want to talk about here anyway, because what we're doing is, some people might say, oh, you just, leave it to the young people, or you've had your time, blah, blah, blah. No, what I'm really interested in now is promoting women, number one, but women supporting women, Maddalena, and Denise. And I'm sorry, Terry, you're fantastic to obviously supporting as well. So it's not just, I'm not only interested in women. I think men obviously are doing amazing stuff as well in supporting us. Those three people are the people who have affiliates with me, that's all, or support as in with their businesses. So what I'm very, very interested in, and it's just sort of happened naturally so far, is working with people like yourselves who have all the background and have the ability. So we're going to get back out there and make it, where other people might say, oh, bring on people who are more experienced right now. Jodie, I know you've got tons of experience, but do you know what I'm saying? Sort of saying it in a roundabout way. Why can't we do it? And that's the thing. We are doing it. And I find this extremely exciting. And just on the other thing as well, the topic around suicide, I think when I first started talking to you, Jodie, about I was sitting in the car talking to you about coming on board, and we immediately went into talking about mental health and our own mental health and how, and our children's, and our it's such a broad subject, and it's not like all of us have the propensity to say, I'm going to, I feel like I'm not allowed to say all these words, but of course I am, have the interest or the want to take our lives. But we all, many of us, can get to very low points in our lives.
Yep.
And often you see people who've got a lot of depression or sadness or struggles, they put a smile on their face. So you actually can't see it. And I'm really interested in this stuff, and so it really interests me to work with people. Not only have you got the ability to make films, but you've come from a place of knowing what this subject is.
Well, part of I'm a visual. I've got a grandchild now. She's 4 years old. She's obsessed with the screen, which absolutely every kid is if they can get their hands on it. It's GMARS, that's what I'm called. Well, when she was younger than now, she could look at photos on my phone that I'd taken and little videos I'd shot, music sort of videos at the market here, for instance. I live opposite at a park that has live music, so I often go and sort of film things just in the park. And the obsession with visual, well, the blue screen is a different subject, but we all are visual creatures, and I realise how obsessed I am with my vision, even though I'm half blind.
She's not doing the camera work, don't worry.
Yeah. And it seemed to affect my photos, obviously, but I think I love images, and I love watching things. I've just come into the streaming world where I do have Netflix, and I've just on Saturday finally downloaded Disney onto my TV. And I love.
Let's not promote these people. That's not
not good. But the films.
But let's not promote them. Yeah.
No. But the films I loved were very children's films and visual films. And a play is sort of so much is accessible to anyone. The words, especially, words are so important, and they're often not used well these days.
Well, yeah. So the project is going to be magnificent, and we are starting in January. We're looking to film in January, starting now, obviously. Now, I just want to say, what I was trying to get at there, so maybe it didn't come across very well. I was talking about depression. I was talking about, how. Tell me, because either one of you. And I don't want this to be a question answer thing, so just talk about yourselves in that way, because I do think it touches so many people. Jennifer, you've had lots of stuff where you've got every right to be so.
Well, the last few years haven't been fun, that's for sure. Yeah. So, can I be frank about?
You can be Frank, you can be Betty, you can be Jennifer, or anyone you want.
Oh, thank you. Of course, yes. Yeah, so my eldest son died 5 years ago, and the crazy thing was that he had been suicidal for many years before then, but during the 6-7 months before he died, he was not suicidal. He'd reconciled that, so his death came as a big shock. And it's.
So how was it? Talk about when he was, when he was suicidal.
When he was suicidal, it was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. So the thing about suicide that people say is, if they say they're going to do it, then they probably won't. But that's apparently a red light. So and my son was quite vocal about it, and so I walked on eggshells for 12 years, and there was a specific event that triggered it.
Oh yes, wow.
So he was caught in the Mumbai terror attacks in 2008, and about 6 months later, after he was home, we went and saw so these are the little things that people can look out for. We went and saw a movie called Eastern Promise. It was like a fairly heavy duty espionage movie, and with Russia and the Cold War and all that kind of thing. And about halfway through the movie, there was a bomb in the story. And as we were walking through the car park back to the car afterwards, he said, "Oh, Ma," he said, "did you feel the cinema shake?"
Mm.
And I went, no. What do you mean? He said, well, when that bomb went off, I felt the cinema shaking.
Mm.
And that was the first sign for me where it was like, okay, I need to keep an eye on this.
Trauma.
Because it's not that he felt the cinema shaking, because the cinema wasn't shaking. That's how your brain interprets the trauma when you see stuff again. And part of his trauma was that he was witness to the bombs that went off in Mumbai the year before.
So was he actually physically there?
He physically witnessed it. He was on the phone to me when 2 or 3 cops were murdered and dragged out of their car just outside the window of the restaurant he was in.
Oh,
and
God.
so, and then while he was talking to me, I heard an explosion in the background. He said, "Oh, Ma," he says, "I've got to get off the phone because the terrorists have just shot a what do they have? A rocket launcher or something like that. They shot it into the restaurant next door to us, and they're keeping it. They're trying to locate us." And he says, "I think they're tracking my phone, so I've got to get off the phone because the next rocket could end up in our restaurant, and there's like 30 people in the back of us, in the back room that I'm helping look after." So, I mean, it was really, he was really quite relaxed about the whole thing on the day.
But shock comes afterwards, doesn't it?
Comes afterwards,
yeah.
So, and we don't know what it is that triggers these things in people who become suicidal. And on the outside they look pretty normal. And when in dealing with traumatic events, they can be quite laid back about the whole thing. I can be laid back about that stuff too. So and through that 12-year period, I was, for a short while, I had what they called suicidal ideation. You just want you want to go to sleep and not wake up, and
because it's just all too hard.
This thing go away.
I mean, sometimes I probably speak for a lot of people who get to a point where things are just too much, but then there's some people that it goes further. I don't think I've ever felt suicidal. I have thought, I just want to get out of here, but I'd never felt suicidal.
And that can be where it starts. One of the other compounding factors I just thought of is that while he was working through the trauma after he got back, well, we thought, I suppose working through the trauma, like trying to figure out how to get to the next bit without too much, things falling apart even further. But the we heard from, I think through the media, that Centrelink had offered some sort of financial assistance to people specifically who had been caught in the Mumbai terror attacks, and they were offering assistance for people who were involved in international terrorism of any sort. And so he thought, oh yeah, that I'm in the front line here, and they treated him as though he did not exist, and they pretended that he was not there, even though it was all over his name, his face, the story were all over the media.
Oh, really? So maybe
when the attacks were on, he was the phone connection from India into the country for 3 major news stations, and that they were getting live feeds from him for 24 hours.
So he was swamped with he was just bombarded with being.
We both were,
having to repeat it probably and things like that, which is just awful.
It was awful.
I mean, I'm so sorry, Jennifer. 5 years ago is nothing. No time is.
Well, that was 17 years ago.
Yeah, I know, but 5 years ago
17 years ago.
Yeah,
but 5 years ago, 5 years ago has gone like 5 years has just flipped past.
Yeah.
So when Centrelink basically said, "Oh, we've got all this money, tens of thousands, $70,000 they could have offered him, to you know, for I don't know what you're going to use that much money for, but when he applied, and I'm getting a bit off track here.
Don't worry
Anyway,
about
but
going into that.
they wanted that. This is the crazy thing, and it's the absurdity of the situation. They wanted him, like a couple of years down the track, when all this was beginning to sort of settle down and trying to work, work out our path through the rest of our lives. They wanted him to provide a boarding pass to prove that he'd gone to India that day. Who keeps their boarding pass?
That's insane.
But
the thing is, so you live with a son who was traumatized and, PTSD, all of that, and had to be there for him. And it's a massive thing, having to be there for your kids when they're really struggling. I know that. And then now you've got to deal with the fact that he's not here. So you yourself must be carrying a huge amount of pain.
I guess so. I don't really think about that.
Sorry, I don't want.
Yeah, it's all right. I don't really think about that. I'm maybe that's part of the distraction, and that's the great thing about being a filmmaker and an artist, I suppose. I mean, I'm a photographer as well, so and I make art with photographs. It's very distracting, and that creativity allows me to get a lot of that stuff out of my body. You've got to get it out of your body. So you've got to have somewhere for it to go.
Well, that's right. And that's why talking is the key. And this film's all about talking. That's the basis. That's the whole sort of premise that we need to. I mean, I meet several people on the beach, and there's this one woman, I haven't seen her for a while. And we saw each other yesterday, and we're just talking because we've got the same sort of issue going on at the moment. And I definitely have to catch up with her because I know I could be good for her and she could be good for me. It's really, really important to realize that you're not alone with whatever you're going through. Most of us are currently going through a lot, and some have got different things that we're going through. But, I'm finding it I need to keep talking to people right now for what I'm dealing with. And what about you, Jodie? You struggled with depression and things like that yourself in your life?
I was sent off to boarding school when I was 16, away from my family, and my mum died not long after that, and then I've been a bit of an actor. I act okay most of the time.
There we go. See? Yes.
Yeah.
This is it. The face. This is what we show the world.
Yeah. Again.
Why were you sent away? You the oldest?
No, second eldest.
Why were you sent away?
I was sent away because
the naughtiest.
Not the naughtiest. I had a boyfriend who wanted to marry me, and my family didn't like him, and also my friends were pretty wild. I was, as I said, an observer of life, and
a liver of life by the sounds of it.
Yes. And then I was just trying to think about the first time I was affected by suicide, and it was when my daughter was 4, living in public housing, and the neighbour's daughter was 9 years old and wanted to commit suicide, and he actually asked my daughter, who was 4, if she could help her. Luckily, my daughter came home to me and said, Mum, Nikki wants to commit suicide. And I intervened, of course. Her mother was also trying to commit suicide a couple of times. And she had grown up with that, I think.
So she was hearing it, or was she seeing stuff, do you think?
She was seeing it. We were all, Nikki, her mother and I were sole parents. Well, sole parents in the I was separated from my partner. Anyway,
single parent.
Single parent. But I had access to her father, and we shared the custody. Anyway, then a friend at high school committed suicide. A friend of my daughter's committed suicide by taking Panadol. And that's the first time I learnt that Panadol was probably...
Well, hang on.
No, again, sorry. Well,
I don't know.
Medical
I'm
drug.
just trying to cover my... I think it's taken down these days. So,
yeah.
Panadol is the most toxic drug out there.
Yeah.
And it's on the counter.
So, Jennifer... We're putting... Let's say the things that some people take when they have a headache. Let's say that.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It actually, like a lot of medical drugs, there's effects. Like I take high blood pressure tablets. They dry out your mouth. Therefore, you generally lose your teeth.
Look, no, but I mean, this is the silly thing, isn't it? Because there is a media organization in Australia. So this is not in overseas. Overseas, they have no problem at all with Marooned and how it comes across. But there is a media organization here that believe you shouldn't say the methods. And the place states the methods. Now, you've just done a method there. People know, people hear, they watch television. There was, I don't even know what they were. There was some programs a while back all around this and showing suicide, I believe, and different methods. But within theatre, they have a problem. Now, I have a friend who came to see Marooned. I had no idea. I was just doing a kind of a mail out thing to people, a messenger thing. And she said, oh, that's interesting because 2 weeks ago I attempted to leave the Matrix. And I was like, oh my goodness, don't feel you have to come. And she was actually in, not outpatients, whatever it's called, when you've sort of come anyway, she was in a sort of a situation which was still being watched and looked after. And she brought that carer with her, and she came to see the play. And she said it was cathartic. She said it really helped her, and it didn't make her, think, oh, okay, the world's doomed. I really do have to go and do this. It did the opposite. And I see her now a fair bit, and we talk about her attempt. We talk about what made her do it, where she was. And I think it's imperative, because otherwise they just go back into their silence and people think they're okay, maybe,
You've just hit on one of the main problems of the whole suicide narrative in this country, and that is silence, and it's intentionally orchestrated. So suicide is apparently illegal to discuss in the media, so the news will never report it. And if somebody dies from suicide, they'll dance around it, but they won't actually.
Well, they put the lifeline beyond all those things at the bottom, so you know.
How you know. Yeah. So when I first moved into the western suburbs in Melbourne, so I'm very close to the Westgate Bridge, and when I moved here, I've lost a friend who jumped off the Westgate Bridge, and that was in 2005. It's 20 years ago. Gosh, and at that particular point in time, I think there were three to four people jumping every week.
Yeah.
And there was like a 90% success rate. Not everyone died when they jumped off, so you can imagine the horror that, you know, of waking up after you've attempted to jump off that. And yeah, so part of the reason, like, there was that huge fence that they built on the bridge.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that because of that terrible thing with the little girl that was by her father, which is just
that father. Yeah.
That was horrific. And that has now dropped the numbers. People still jump off the bridge. They still figure out how to do it. It's one a week at the moment. One person a week jumps off the Westgate Bridge and kills themselves. And that's not discussed. No one wants to know about it. So, and the media and the I imagine the government is driving this. They think that by being silent and not telling people how to do it, by discussing the methods,
exactly.
People know how to do it.
They think that they're actually protecting. Yeah. And this is the thing.
Yeah. And it's
I get quite angry with some. Sorry. I get quite angry with some of these organizations because they.
Yeah, absolutely.
They just adamantly think that that's the right way, and I said, but the numbers are going up. Oh, so you're telling me my jobs? Well, the numbers are going up, so something's not working, and we're not professing that this play is going to fix anything. But what it does is it shows and it moves people and it makes them actually want to live. It gives hope. It's actually a very positive play, you know.
Yes,
it's an awful subject, but it makes people want to. And
candidly,
what I was just going to say, sorry, I was just talking about, is the play, as you know, is set in that place where if you jumped that moment, maybe you changed your mind, because apparently people who jump actually change their mind like a moment, or some of them do, afterwards. And they've obviously found that in people.
So that's been. I don't know where the studies are that talk about this or show this, but I've heard that it is a well-known fact that when people attempt to
someone
kill
said
themselves,
yesterday there was one. Well, exactly. I don't know where they come from either, but there's one group who's is interested in helping or is getting the play to Geelong as well, and they're survivors of suicide. And it's not like they're the survivors, but that's called people who are like you, Jennifer. Well, no, your son didn't, but people whose children they're the ones who are left.
Can I just mention? Yeah, I just thought something about adding to the complication of just the whole story, and that is because he had been suicidal, and it was known amongst a few people, and I had discussed it after he died with the police and with the coroner. I had to then wait, and this is the insanity. I then had to wait 2 years while the coroner did their investigation. I've got no idea what that means. I mean, buggered if I know what they do.
God.
They shift people around the table and have chats with the. I mean, I don't know. So I'm getting really angry here, but
get angry. Get angry. Absolutely.
2 years for the coroner to get back to me properly with a final decision as to what they actually thought, that their expert opinion.
But you knew all the time, right?
Well, no.
You knew. You didn't.
No,
okay.
We didn't know. Yeah. No, we didn't know.
Yeah.
It sometimes that still pops into my head and it still hangs in the background, whirring around in the back, thinking, well, maybe he did. Like maybe he did. I don't know. But it's 2 years. It took the coroner 2 years to figure this out. And when I questioned them about why it was taking them so long, they said, "Oh, well, we need to turn up every stone. We need to look under everything. We need to look at every angle. We need to make sure we haven't missed anything." Because once the coroner's made their decision about this stuff, then need to work out how to make a statement so that we can alert this, the appropriate departments around, the police or the health industry or whatever, about how to prevent the things from happening again, like further, so that we can add to the story and make it better. They did nothing. They did absolutely nothing. And well, okay, maybe they wrote some stuff on paper and told people. I don't know, but I not something. I didn't learn anything that they had done. Anyway, but yeah, 2 years. 2 years.
Well,
the pressure that put on me as a mother was horrendous.
Absolutely.
I was a basket case after 2 years, and ping-ponging all over the place, not sure, in my head, just not sure how to deal with it all. So yeah, I mean, that no one talks about how that affects our community, how people in power make these arbitrary decisions about how they're going to do stuff, and that they are so stuck in their methods of how they must do something that there's no room to move in there.
I think more and more now we are aware that this is the way the world is, but we have to just keep talking. We have to keep calling people out for it and all of that.
It's no wonder that it's snowballing. Like we have such a huge increasing suicide problem
in our mental health altogether.
Mental health, and that the people that hold the purse strings don't want to talk about it, and they want us to pretend.
Really sorry. I just really want to make sure that this does get to as many people. So honestly, I looked after a young lady that tried to end it. A young lady, he hit across the electric. He or she hit across the electric overhead train cables and sizzled there a bit before dropping to the ground. He had 60 to 70% burns to his body, broken bones, and mentally worse off because he couldn't even kill himself properly.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
That's horrific.
That is horrendous. You mean, so it was a guy.
And it's not only just horrific for the person who's experienced that, but all the people around them, their family, all the first responders, all of those people who have to deal with it
which is all in the play.
Yeah, it is.
And I was just going to say, so there's Felicity is the mum of Guy May. Guy May was an artist and an actor, and we did a tiny bit of work with him, and then he took his life. She has been on board from the beginning of this play, and absolutely loves the fact that I keep it going. Her niece set it up in England, started the whole thing in England for it to be used as a teaching tool for psychologists and nursing staff and around the subject. They don't have any problem with anything in it. In fact, I'm just about to deal with someone in Scotland, I hope, who's also wants to use it there. And she thoroughly believes that it has to stay how it is. You have to say how it is.
I just want to mention I've just as you know, I've just finished translating the play into a screenplay for film, and the one thing I noticed about the writing is that it just flows so beautifully, and you can't change the dialogue. It's really important.
No, that's
really,
right.
really,
everything's important in it. That's right. And the thing is, people hear it, they listen to it. So are we allowed to ask about the coroner's find? What about the farmers, health professional, whistleblowers? Kids kicked off social media, adult censorship. Which bit of that should we talk about? What do you mean?
Yeah, I won't get into the coroner's find.
There's a lot of things there.
Sorry.
All of this stuff coming up. We've got the farmers' health I know what you're talking about there, but that's to do with what the play's going to be on in December up in Colac. And if anybody knows anyone in that area hasn't seen Marooned, I really would love if you could help recommend, because it's quite hard to get people to come because they think, oh, we're going to go and see a play about bloody suicide. And it's not. It's actually really, really amazing piece. So just going back to what we were just saying there about keeping quiet and not expressing and all of that, I just feel like part of the reason why Australia feels quite backwards is to do with this as well. You know,
Well,
it's not backwards.
It's essentially forced upon us. It's essentially forced upon us. It's the forced silence.
Yeah.
And
like Jodie, you were saying,
but anyway,
you'd love to find out.
I'd like to find out where that whole notion of keeping things silent about suicide has its origin. I mean, you know, is it some sort of
what's to back it up? Yeah,
I reckon it's Christian, you know, religious. Firstly, you know, we're based on, you know, a lot of the laws are based around religion. Anyway, you know, I'm interested.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know.
I've been listening to the radio, and I've, you know, 2 nights ago there was a whole hour on what the shearers are doing to raise money for suicide prevention of farmers. And it was very, very interesting. I don't think, I'm not sure if I wrote down the woman's name. It was a female shearer again, you know.
Shearer,
women,
that's interesting. Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
I should contact shearers.
Because shearers are probably like dentists.
Yeah.
And also that's, and the other, yeah, you know, it's,
no, I get that.
I now will look up why we can't talk about suicide publicly, and obviously, you know, the ways to do it, but I think you can be interviewed about making a play about suicide, and the guidelines about not mentioning ways or not mentioning names. But this play is actually
because it's the media.
When I watched it, I thought, you know, it's actually, and I have thought about suicide. I'm lucky enough to have a sister, my beautiful sister Kate, to talk to about it, and in a flippant way. And in a flippant way,
what do you mean by that?
Well, if I'm depressed, I get up and think, what's the point? You know, 68, still working at a big company, you know, that's probably quite evil, and haven't been able to do what I always wanted to do. And that's not filmmaking as such, because I've had a great career in filmmaking and dabble in it and have family in it. So I'm, you know, it's next door to me all the time.
Yeah.
But I studied architecture. I wanted to build a house. I wanted to buy property. I lived in Castlemaine, and it was I was doing it with my father, and it was stopped. And since then, I've thought, what's the point? You know,
what do you mean? Why was it stopped? Because your dad was an architect, wasn't he?
My dad got sick the day he was to sign the guarantor papers, and my family, my sisters, who knows who did it, or my stepmother, said, we're not doing this. 20 grand for 20 acres, and I designed the house. I knew the farmers. I'd planned the permaculture farm, or from the age of very young, all I wanted to do was build my own house, have a sense of place.
Yeah. And your dad
anyway, it didn't happen. It's never going to happen now.
Oh, no. Never say never, because we don't know.
Well,
no.
I've built houses before. You know, at my age, I can coordinate building a house, of course, but I can't make mud bricks, you know, I can't, I can't afford the $500,000 that land would now cost. You know, come on.
It's crazy.
Everything's got
I've lost the opportunity, but recently, you know, my daughter's providing me with that sense of place. And it's a bit reversed, but I'm so lucky and grateful that I can have time, almost a second chance with my daughter, who I ran away from when she was 14. I left the state. She thinks she was 12, but she was 14. And that's also, you know, a sense of, I don't think I failed, because she's such a beautiful girl, and her father and I did great things, although her father and I weren't together. It takes, you know, anyway, it didn't work out the way I wanted to. And in the mornings, I get depressed when I wake up. But recently, I decided that it was so painful being depressed that I did have a choice. And it wasn't to, you know, I've been to so many psychiatrists, so many psychologists. I lived in Castlemaine. There was great access to mental health. For the 35 years I lived up there.
To me, that sounds sorry, but
but again, I can have conversations with my sister, and I've always wanted to live. My grandmother died when I was 6. My mother died when I was 20. You know, women. You know, I think we're still working it out, because women are, you know, we're all parts of nature. And I've been so angry as well that was going to kill me, not doing anything else.
Well, that's it. See, I'm just saying, you know, you say you could go to psychiatrists, psychologists, whatever. But if you've got real things, these are real things you're talking about, which have made you go to a certain place, you know, a mood. And sometimes that mood can be really severe, and it's very difficult to get out of it. But it's reality. My nephew suicide just. I'll read that in a sec. But that's the funny. That's not funny, but that's the thing, isn't it? You know, they think, oh, we got to find it, but it's blatantly obvious. You were the two reasons why you would have fallen. You know,
I'm too scared to commit suicide. You know, I'm terrified of dying.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the reasons why you were down. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and the reason I'm down.
Get down.
You know, I haven't, well, people love diagnosis, and they say, you know, I've been diagnosed with ADHD or autism in my older age. I've often wondered what's wrong with me. And when you doubt yourself, I think the thoughts of suicide come up. I've had, you know, my sister's boyfriend committed suicide. I've had a lot of people die of misadventure. Not close friends, but friends in the industry. The 4 people that starred in 4 of the stars in Dogs in Space died under 10 years after the film. One to an illness, but
was that Michael Hutchinson? Was he in that?
Well, Michael, you know, it was accidental suicide. But I believe that if you venture into those sorts of acts, you're gambling with death. And I'm, you know, I didn't go in lifts. I don't like flying. I've played it very safe all my life to protect myself.
No,
and
I like
again, you know, yeah. When I saw the play, I thought, this is just what I needed.
Well, and I have to say, Jodie saw. I mean, the production's always fantastic, but we had an interval. It wasn't in a great venue for it. Lights were just sitting there. So you know, you haven't even seen the best version of the play, but you can hear it and you can see it. There we go. So this is Canada, yes, where they actually talk about maids. If you were speaking how you're speaking now, they could say, "Well, come on, Jodie, come over here. We've got something for you," and they would actually say, "Well, you might as well go."
People don't even know what maids. People don't even know what maids is.
We cannot. We cannot support. I would never support suicide, and because number one, you never know what's ahead. Number two,
absolutely,
you're not being true. Right, the people who are here are the ones who will suffer. So it's almost a selfish act.
Yeah,
you know?
Look, I've really chewed over that one. And you know, I can go on ad nauseum about how my son's death has affected me, and you know, how I'm going to sort it out. It's not about me. His death is not about me, and I think his death is, he's the one who died.
I know, but it is about you because it has effect. It's you gave birth to him.
I mean, and because I loved him, so very much, and there's that thing that's coming out a lot now where, and one of the things I've learned is that the reason why we feel so deeply, and so why grief grips us, is because we loved so deeply. That's when you focus back on that, it makes it a whole lot easier to bear. Now, I just wanted to mention, because Jodie mentioned it, about dying. I am not afraid of dying. Absolutely not afraid of it. I am a Christian, so I'm going to take up what Jodie said about it never occurred to me that it might be a Christian thing to do with suicide, silence, and all that kind of thing. So I'm going to look up that and find out more about that.
Yeah.
And you know, even when I was suicidal, or suicidal ideation, I wasn't really suicidal. One of the things that kept coming up was, well, if I top myself, I won't be able to do all the things that I want to do. I've got so much stuff that I want to do, and I'm still so excited about the things that I'm involved with.
Yeah.
Technically, I'll never die.
Yeah, well, I'm the same. I have so much to do.
You know.
Now, I just want to say, Belinda,
and that can be so exciting. That can keep you going.
Selfish is a word that comes to mind, but it's a strange word, I suppose. I mean, it's extremely disappointing. It's very much affects the people. I mean, I see Felicity a lot, and she has so much shame and guilt. She was actually a social worker. That her son took his life, so she's got to live with that forever. You know, as anyone does who has had a child. They have to have there's another thing there. See, the whole thing, if I couldn't save my own child, I couldn't stop them, you know. And maybe you knew nothing about that side of their life. Maybe you know, I know that there's another man I know whose beautiful daughter took her life at 18, and he probably had it looks like there was absolutely no inkling that she would be a candidate. Not at all. She was just a positive, vibrant, all this beautiful, in a prime 18. I mean, so there's that.
And that. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
yeah. Oh, and I love flying. Jodie,
I love flying now. I used to be scared of flying, but I did it anyway. I always had the risk anything attitude. I like adventure, I like change, and I used to, you know, I've flown from England to here, back to England several times, and when I was younger, especially, well, like the second time I came to Australia, I was like petrified for the whole however many hours it is. Not petrified for all the time, but it wasn't my thing. But I did it anyway.
I love it.
Now I actually like it.
Yeah. I didn't fly. The first time I flew, I think I was 28 years old. I'd never flown at all, ever, anywhere. Driven all over the country, but never flown anywhere. And when I finally got up in the air, it's like, I can do this. You know, I should have been a pilot. Wow. Yeah, just love it.
You wouldn't have a job now. I saved a male best friend from almost taking his life. He had the rope ready to go. His marriage ended and he couldn't cope, but he eventually healed and remarried and had another child and is the happiest he's ever been. Well, that's it. So you never know what's ahead. And
great story.
And of course, time is a healer. If you are in a really bad space, I was going to read this one. I used to think that the suicide was selfish, but after working in acute mental health, I discovered that in their head it's twisted around to not being a burden. Yeah, of course,
it is.
And they'll be better off without me. Yeah, this is looped into their head 24/7. Some don't sleep for days. I believe it's demons.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you. Yep.
Demons or just the negative. And you know, if you get yourself in like not going out a lot, not sleeping, all of those things, but you're taking yourself away from anything new in your life, being able to see anything new or come across a new experience. Of course, you're going to go back and back and back, and it's really hard.
It alters your
I'm just to say, people who don't have that absolute incredibly heavy depression and suicide feeling don't understand that it's not as easy as that. Because even if I was ever depressed in my life, I've been able to get on with things. You know, I'm not feeling terrific at the moment, but I'm absolutely determined. I'm rehearsing this afternoon, and I got you two here, and you know.
I think I've been in 3 car accidents and nearly died. So that's probably why I know that. I don't want to die. And again, you know, life is beautiful. Whoever said that, you know, and it's a choice. Don't get me wrong. It's
life can be beautiful. I think that I don't consider it beautiful at the moment. I think we've got so much around us which is trying to bring us down. We're in this war constantly at the moment, but it can be beautiful, and we have to keep finding the good and the beautiful things. It certainly ain't Melbourne, but anyway, I have to be here.
One thing you were saying about sleep deprivation, like not sleeping for a few days, it alters your perception of reality. It really
my daughter
does.
sometimes can't sleep for days, and it's awful.
Yeah, it would be. Yep.
And I don't understand it because I sleep at the drop of a hat. But
I have trouble sleeping. But anyway, I've had trouble sleeping for a long time. Yeah.
You said you couldn't sleep last night, Jodie.
No, I actually spent the night like 30 years ago researching what's the word, cyclorama curtains and studios. And I sort of, you know, I was searching. I searched the other day, then I searched different words, and I found more things. And I thought, I haven't, you know, I went to bed at 4 o'clock. I thought, I haven't done this for ages, sort of researching. And the feeling that I got, it was great, other than not waking up this morning.
Because you were immersed in something. Is that what you're saying?
I felt I was immersed in trying to create something. And something great. And and I believe anyone can make great things, but again, it's prior in the film at Crawford's, the 5 P's were prior preparation prevents poor performance. And if you tell that to yourself all the time, and there's another one, I just took it down. Good sayings. Hang on a minute.
I'm just going to say while she's going off that, she's probably back in a sec.
That was clever.
I don't expect anybody here, but if anybody knows anybody that might want to support this film in any way, and this is just putting it out there, because if you don't put it out, you never know, right? So please get them in touch. Get them to get in touch with me. Anyway, what was Judy? Go ahead.
The other one is from my son-in-law. Smart. It's specific. Well, starting a project, you ask yourself whether it's smart, and that's specific, measurable, accountable, realistic, and time. So you can sort of,
it's interesting how that word's been thrown around to several other things these days. I don't think they put those. That's not their definition of smart. Anyway, we will have another meeting really soon and carry on. We're looking for the location now, and we're looking for some money to put to actually, we will need some money, so I'm looking for that. We're looking for that. So I want to thank both of you for coming on today. I'm just going to do, just while I'm here, no one has to say anything, you can and that thing in Canada is horrendous. I'm going to put the comment location up here. So Denise Parr has her shop called, where is it? So it's called Achaia Botanicals, and she's up in Townsville. So if anybody's in Townsville and they want to support a woman that supports me, go and have a visit. She's just opened it. So I'm going to do a little interview with her in the shop probably. Because I've never met her. She was talking to me about Hempflower for depression as well, and saying how this is something that really can help. Got my Hempflower somewhere, and so she's starting this whole thing. But she's a very, very generous woman, and so I want to support her as well. If you're in Townsville area, if you're nearby, I don't really know what's nearby Townsville, but go and visit her. Go and have a look at her gorgeous shop. I do have an image of her shop. I'll just put the image up, which I think we go away somewhere. I'll have to put us down. Hang on. There you go. That's the technical part's over.
Can I just mention something about you? You said that Hempflower for depression. Can I just tell you an experience that I had when I was pregnant with my first son? This is 1983, and I had terrible. Just my emotions went in crazy, and I couldn't control myself very well. So by the time I was about 4 or 5 months pregnant, I was crying all the time, that the slightest thing would upset me. And it was really, and I could tell from the inside of myself that it was completely irrational. But I couldn't control it.
Yeah.
And I was probably clinically depressed as well. And I went
by
to
yourself?
Doctor.
Were you a single mom?
I was
then?
with his father at the time, but that didn't last very long. Anyway, I went to my doctor, and he said, do you have any other symptoms? Is there anything else that's, I think I went and saw him about the other thing. My skin was coming off my face. I was losing hair. My hands were dry and flaky. Like everything was just really I think was my mouth was dry as well. I can't. Yeah. Anyway, just everything was dry. And he said, "Oh, he said, I think you have, this is, and it's not a diagnosis I'm giving to other people. I'm just saying this is what happened to me." So he said, "I think you have a vitamin B deficiency." So he sent me off to a nutritionist, and she said, "Well, the reason you have a vitamin B deficiency is because you're pregnant. And what the baby does is the baby takes everything out of you and leaves you with the dregs of whatever's left." And she said, and on top of that, she said, "I think that you're probably not able to absorb, you can digest it, but you can't absorb vitamin B very well." So she said, "I'm going to give you a series of vitamin B injections." And I thought, oh, yeah, okay. It's like and it was organic, and it was, you know, I don't know, wonderful. And the first shot, it was incredibly painful. So it's not something that I would say, "Oh, yeah, go and get one done." We worked out why, and then after that, it was easy. But I think I was having one of these once a week for about a month or 6 weeks or something. But the effect was, I'd get this shot, and it'd be into my leg or into my buttocks, and you know, I'd be thinking, "Oh yeah, what's this about? You know, this doesn't make any sense." Within about an hour, 2 hours, I felt like Superwoman. Like the emotional stuff walked out the door. I felt like I could tackle anything. And I'm just wondering if, and like since that experience, whenever I hear people talking about being depressed or not being able to cope with things emotionally, I'm wondering, how's your vitamin B levels? You know, and now I take vitamin B to prop up my vitamin B intake because I know that that's going to set right some of that emotional imbalance.
Well,
what do you think about it?
I mean, of course, there's, you know, get sunlight, exercise, don't have sugar, don't have all of the things. But when you're very down, you know, really I can say that to a certain person, and it's just like, you know, and so you've got to want to come up, you know, and say, okay, I am going to stand in the sun. You know, I don't know where we go in Melbourne, but yeah. Anyway, I'm going to have to wrap it up because I have to get to rehearsal soon. So, thank you, both of you. I'm going to end with
thank you.
Yeah, and good luck to us. So here's raise our water to Marooned. We got water. I got water with oxygen in.
I haven't got water. I've got a cup of
coffee.
Here's to Marooned, the film.
Yes.
Marooned, the film. Cheers.
Take care. I'll be in touch. We'll have a meeting really soon. Okay?
Yeah,
talk soon.
Let's talk. Okay, all the best. Let's have a positive day. Bring an umbrella out.
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm loving the rain. I'm loving the rain.
No, I love the sun yesterday. That was me. I love the sun.
We need both. We do need both.
I know.
I'm loving
perfect sunny day yesterday, rain today. We need the hydration. The land needs the hydration.
Yeah. Well, we do. Yes, but maybe in the right season. How's that?
And that helps the farmers.
Yes, it does.
This is the season for rain.
We're in a drought.
Listen, I came from England for sun.
I came from Mount Gambier. Mount Gambier is very rainy.
I am not just a product made to satisfy the pocket, nor do I require the same fame others seek. I desire your heart, the passions that make you a woman, any woman, every woman. My scents are a representation of purpose, courage, confidence. Each botanical ingredient a praise of thanksgiving and self-care. The way I feel upon your flesh, a comfort of nourishment, as I feed dehydrated and depleted layers of skin, bursting for a new life of regrowth and youthfulness. If I stir your soul with each application, let it be known that you, too, are an intimate duet woman.